Okay, well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, entrepreneurs without limits. I'm Dana Scranton, and welcome. I'm your head lifestyle enthusiast and your mindset mentor. So today is episode 3 in our discussion and education about your code of living. And to give a little bit of a review of where we've been in episodes 1 and 2. Episode 1, I defined mindset for you, the 3 elements that comprise a true mindset. That is clarity of vision, purpose, thought, action, and results, that which facilitates and adapts to change and promotes growth in multiple areas of your life. Those 3 elements comprise your mindset of life and ultimately your code of living. In episode 2, I defined and discussed each one of those elements, the elements of clarity, growth, and change. These 3 things are a cyclical phenomenon. They work together. When you get clear about what you want, why you want it, the hows begin to fall in place and all the rest of the things begin to happen for you. And you don't have to have stellar clarity. It's not like you can see into infinity. As long as you can see the next step you have to take in the beginning, that's clarity. Then that produces change. Change produces growth. Growth produces more clarity. So it's a cyclical thing that expands and grows with each and every day. Well, today what we're going to be talking about are the first of the critical steps in developing your mindset of life and ultimately your code of living. And those are the 3 Ds: desire, dream, and decision. Actually, I've got that just a little bit backwards. It's dream, desire, decision. And why is that? Well, if you've read any quotes or personal development books at all, at some point, you're going to run across somebody who says, desire is the foundation of all success. It is the energy and the fire behind what moves you forward. And there's certainly truth to that. But where does desire come from? It comes from dreams. And some of those dreams you may not even be aware of. So let's define a dream. Let's define a desire. A dream is a risk-free way of experimenting with the possibilities of life, a risk-free way of examining what is possible that other people may think is impossible, leaving the probabilities out of the whole equation and just enjoying the imagination and the fantasy of what you could be, who you could be, where you could be. That's a dream. And everyone has it. As we get older, we tend to dream less, but really we need to learn to dream more because now we have so much more to dream about. We've seen so much more of what is possible. Now, when a dream registers an emotional significance, an emotional event, a surge, a feeling, that is a desire. And that emotion can be positive or negative. And you have to listen to it. You have to be aware of it because what that's telling you is something in your heart, in your mind, is connecting and telling you there's significance to what that dream means to you. And sometimes people get a little anxious and they get a little fearful when a dream pops into their head and they, oh no, I can't have that. What that is your mind saying, oh yes, you can. That's your heart saying, oh yes, you can. So it's very important that you listen to all emotional responses. That leads you to desire. Dreams with emotional engagement are desires. Now, it's rare for somebody to have but one dream. They'll say it's the only thing I've dreamed about all of my life. Well, that may be true. Can't say it's not. But very oftentimes people have many dreams. But those dreams, in some cases, if not many, are related. They're connected. And if you go through the exercise in the development of your mindset of life, and you start writing down your dreams, you take 20 minutes and you write down every dream you've ever had. If that dream registers even the slightest emotional response within you, you check it. Then you come back and you ask yourself, what was it about that emotional response? What was important about that? Why is it? Or stop in the moment and just relish it and write it down. Why did I respond that way? Then later, you'll ask yourself, what need does that fulfill? And there are 2 different categories of needs. There's the basic human needs, and then there's those needs that promote well-being. These are 2 different categories. And we'll be getting into that later when we get into the mechanics of this. So right now, we're just giving you the basics. So you're going to analyze those. And what you'll find as you go through and you look at the significance of those dreams and the emotional engagement that you experienced, you're going to find out that those desires point you in a certain direction. They're going to be aligned with one or many of the 6 basic human needs and one or many of the 6 elements of human wellness. It's going to point you in a certain direction. That direction is your purpose. It's the thing that you're meant to do at the moment. Now, we're going to talk about purpose later, but I want to go into it just ever so slightly right now. You see, purpose is something that we all have. Many people aren't in touch with it. You know, if somebody were to ask you, well, what is your purpose in life? You might draw a blank because you haven't thought about it. You have one, you just haven't thought about it. And purpose is derived from your desires. It's that which your heart and your subconscious mind and your conscious mind kind of collaborate on to use your gifts, your strengths, your energy to produce an impact in this world. Because ultimately, that's who we are as humans and entrepreneurs. Our job is to raise another person from a position of where they are to a position where they want to be or could be. It's the human nature. Your purpose exists, and you can get in touch with that purpose by analyzing your desires and seeing where they fit into those 2 different categories. Again, we're going to talk about those in another exclusive episode. Now, once you have gone through the exercise of really understanding what your desires are telling you, you then formulate a purpose. You take that and you write down the purpose. Now, the purpose statement is going to follow later. But right now, what you're looking for is a purpose that engages your heart and your mind. You're looking for a purpose that says, yes, this is what I want to do. These are the reasons why. It's why it makes me feel good. And it's what I can do for others and what other people will feel when I deliver my purpose to them. We'll define purpose later. That then puts you in an excellent position to make a decision. The third of the 3 Ds. Your dreams lend you to your desires. Now your desire is going to lead you to a decision. You see, dreams and desires are potential energy. They really don't do anything for you unless you make a decision. That's the first action that you must take. After you have defined your purpose, you've gotten a glimmering of it, enough clarity to see that you do have a purpose and to see that that purpose has significance to you, then it's decision time. Now, the decision process is debatable, and you may have heard me describe and discuss this in the past. There's a foundational difference between decision that I'm going to teach you and the decision that many seem to teach, and that is the root of decision is scission, decision, to cut off, to make it your only choice going forward. That's a pretty brutal definition. I mean, it's accurate. It goes back to the Latin. But here's the point. That's not the decision we're making here. Now, you can do that if you like. You can cut off all options and put your blinders on and say, I'm going forward no matter what. And that's not a bad attitude to have. But I want to caution you that in this journey we call life, and especially in the 21st century, in the 21st century, things are happening very quickly. Technology, culture, community, business, economics, things are changing. Relationships are changing. The fabric of our relationships are changing. To cut things off in the form of a decision is quite possibly not the right thing to do. But then what is a decision? If you're not cutting off all the other options, what is it? Well, let me give you the definition. Now, I learned this decision in my studies. I have learned it in life, and it is simply this. A good decision. There's many different types of decision. There's a good decision. There's a bad decision. There's a milquetoast decision, meaning no flavor, no effect. It's a decision that means nothing. We're not in life to make useless, empty decisions. We're going to make a decision to follow your desires, to bring them to fruition, to achieve your purpose in life. That's the decision we're going to make. That decision does not involve cutting off everything else in your life. That decision, if it's a good decision, and we're going to make a good decision, we'll learn about that in this series. A good decision is the decision that regardless of the outcome, you have peace of mind knowing you made the right decision to pursue that particular purpose, to fulfill those desires. And why do I say peace of mind regardless? Because in this process, you will have analyzed your desires. You will have looked at the why, the reason those things are important to you. You will have looked at your purpose, and you will have examined what will happen if I don't achieve my purpose. What will happen if I do? What are the benefits to the people that I care about, the people I don't even know yet, to the world for me having achieved my purpose? And what are the consequences if I don't? These are questions that we're going to ask ourselves in the process of making a decision. And all of these are tied back to your unique and special dreams, desires, and purpose. They're yours, uniquely yours, not someone else's. And as I said in the prior episode, mindset is uniquely you. As you are unique, so too is your mindset. Don't try to put on somebody else's mindset. Don't try to wear somebody else's shoes in this journey of life. It's you. Go barefoot through life, if you want to look at it that way. Nobody's going to leave a footprint in the sand like you do. And so your mindset is uniquely you. So when you make a decision to pursue your purpose, to achieve your desires, that is based on a very unique set of evaluations and introspective investigations. So when you make that decision to pursue it, you have looked at what the consequences are of not achieving it, what the benefits are of achieving it, and you've looked at it from the perspective of your heart and your mind and your soul, and you know what the benefits are for having achieved that which you desire. That's the foundation. And when you've done that, in your mind, you are ready to make that decision. And you understand that there are circumstances beyond your control. We will focus on the things we can control in our journey through life. We'll identify what we can control and what we can't. What we do control, what we can control, that's where our energy will be focused. To the extent that we can't control it, and we don't know perhaps what's coming in the future that we can or can't control, we don't worry about it. That's peace of mind. When you arrive at a point where you accept and recognize that you cannot control that which is not controllable for you, you set yourself free to focus on that which you can control. And this is the basis for having peace of mind regardless of how the outcome arrives in your life. Now, of course, we're looking to be successful. We're not looking to fail. And we're not rationalizing failure either. Not at all. Because all failure is another experience in life that taught you a different direction to go next time, or it emboldened you, or it gave you greater wisdom and knowledge. A failure is merely an experience. That's all it is. That's another element of having peace of mind, knowing that regardless of what happens, you're going to come out the other end a better person, a greater person, wiser, more capable. So you'll hear people say, fail fast, fail often. Let me rewrite that for you. Experience fast, experience often. That's the key, not failure. Don't focus on failure. Don't fear failure. In fact, for the next 90 days, I wouldn't even use the word failure. I'd call it an experience. You know, if something didn't go like you thought it would, that was an interesting experience and I loved it. If it went really well and you got what you wanted in that particular experience, that was a fantastic experience and I loved it. So replace the word failure with the word experience. That's what it is. That's what you do. It's something you experience on your journey to becoming more. And that's why a decision made in this context with this wisdom that I've shared with you today is really and exercise in peace of mind. Regardless of what happens, you will have peace of mind knowing that you made the best decision. Now, here's the other part of it. As you move forward, I talked about clarity, growth, and change. That cycle of clarity, growth, and change creates an environment in your life where you will, in fact, alter your purpose. You'll alter your dreams and your desires as you move forward because you'll begin to see what is possible. You'll see more and more on the horizon of life that you can pursue. The trick here is to stay focused and only make those changes that you can control, and only those changes that are congruent with your life, your purpose, and your code of living. That changes. So don't fear being stuck in a rut. The reality is you're creating multiple paths of opportunity and experiences in the future for every step you take today. Every positive step you take towards your purpose, towards your desires, is a step that creates more opportunity in the future. You can't see it and not necessarily control it at this moment, but know that it's going to happen. By knowing that, once again, you have peace of mind. So do you see where decision is not cutting off the other options of life? A decision is creating experiences that will lead you where you want to go and make you a greater version of yourself regardless of the outcome. It's a little bit different twist on things, I suspect. So that's episode 3, the 3 Ds: dream, desire, decision. So in episode 4, we're going to talk about purpose. You see, when you define your purpose, you have defined something that the vast majority of people do not live with. And one of your purposes, nested inside of your purpose, is to help other people see that they have purpose. Okay. Well, once again, this is Dana Scranton. I hope you got value from today's episode. And again, this will be up on the YouTube channel. It'll also be in the group under the Mindset of Life. Well, once again, take care. Go out there and make a difference. Change the world. Make an impact. Take care, and we'll see you in the next episode.